I would tell them that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to show emotions, and it's okay to ask for help because you're not weak. You're strong for asking for help because a lot of people do need it, like I did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And like the second piece of advice I have is like if you're being bullied, please tell an adult. Don't just sit there like that it happened. Don't be a bystander. Please tell an adult because that could save someone's life.
Really good in high school and getting
Days you feel on top of the world.
I can always make excuses.
Happens. That applies both for
health to kind of
What fun is it if we all looked at
that path, don't have your friends.
All right, hello everybody, and welcome to the Mental Wellness Show. I'm joined here with Uzi Maktoum.
Hi.
Uzi, I'm gonna be honest. I was so excited to have you on, just because your energy and just persona is so like bubbly, and like you bring so much smiles to my face, and I'm sure a lot of people's face. You're just like a super like like. There's a word I'm thinking of right now, but I think you get it. It's like you're
Rambunctious.
just you know
Rambunctious.
no, not Ram, but
Crazy.
well, maybe no. You're super bubbly and like happy, and I just love that energy. So that being said, Uzi, let's if you guys are new to the Mental Wellness Show, the show's all about positivity, mental health, everything in between. If you guys are joining back, thank you so much for being a part of the community. Uzi, let's get into who you are, okay? So I'm
Okay.
gonna kind of go down the list here that you gave me of kind of fun things about you, unique things. So let's start out with you working for the hockey team. That I haven't heard much
Oh
about that yet. So can you tell me a little bit about
yeah.
that?
Okay. So I just started my freshman year in college this year, and I was like, what can I do outside of like college to keep me like busy on my toes, like the go. Like I like the speed. I don't like sitting at home and like thinking, because then it's like I'm gonna be upset and I'm gonna be like I have ADHD, so it's like I need to like I need constant like things to like.
Hmm.
So I was
Keep
like,
going.
and then I looked up the clubs because to graduate at our college, you need LBCs, which are like learning outside the classroom credits. So like the gymnastics club that I'm on, the team that I'm on, that counts as credit, and then like the hockey team counts as credit. And I also love doing it because I had friends in middle school who were on the hockey team. And I'm like, okay, cool. I didn't really care back then because, we're kids, like, we're supposed to live our lives and not care. And I went to college and I was in my bio class. And
Hmm.
this guy, he sat in front of me. No, was it behind me? No, yeah, it was in front of me. Yeah, I remember correctly. And he had this hat on and said E hockey. And I'm like, Easton has a hockey team? So I looked up online, like what type of clubs, and there was like no hockey. And I'm like, huh. So I started like talking to him, and I'm like, oh, you're on the team? And then I started following him on Instagram, and then he was following the hockey team because I snooped on his profile. Oops.
Oops.
And yeah, and then I followed the hockey team, and they had posted a little thing like looking for help this like gaming season, and I'm like, my friend on the team, I could totally support the team.
Hmm.
So I talked to the coaches. The coaches were super nice. Shout out to you, Coach Tom. I know you're gonna watch this. Shout out to you. And Coach O'Leary. Shout out to you. Um, they were super nice. They like brought me in, taught me the ropes, and the next thing I know, I'm running the entire team for 6 months, and I get to meet all these type of guys, and I got to meet some of my old classmates from Ohio because they came to compete against my team. So I
Oh
got like
wow.
all these different like I got to like meet some of the guys I got to be friends with. Um, some of them weren't the nicest people. Like they like prejudged, so it wasn't the best thing for me. But at the same time, I'm glad I worked for them because I got a lot out. Because like I
Hmm.
got to like it was like something I enjoyed for a while. It was a good while. I just enjoyed it, and then things started to get really rough with me. And I remember just going home and like I lied to my parents. I'm like, I'm loving this job. Like there's like nothing else. I have a my jersey. I'm number 17,
Oh,
and I
that's
remember
cool
going.
too.
Yeah, I remember going home that night, and I'm like, how do I keep faking the smile? Like, how do I keep going with this team when they're like some of the guys are not the nicest people. Like some of the nicest guys were the reason I kept going back and helping
Hmm.
them, but at the same time, those guys were like tearing me down, and I was like, I just I need to do what's best for me. And I told the coach, and coach told them that they would talk to them about it, and then that was the end of that. And I said, no, season's over.
So it did get. It sounds like it got better after you talked with the coach.
It got a little better for a while, and it got bad again. And it was like at the end of the season, I'm like, I'm not a quitter. I'm not gonna quit till the end of the season. And them like get mad at me for it. So I stayed the entire season. So I made some good friends out of there. Shout out to
Mm-hmm.
Luke and Luca and Cam and what's his name? Forgetting you guys' name. Daniel and Casey and who else? Austin. Yeah, shout out to you guys. You guys,
Lots of shout out, lots of love.
yeah, because they were the real ones and were there for me. And Easton too, and Jack and Luke. Shout out to you guys. You guys made the hockey so worth it. No, they actually did. They were the reason I kept going back.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to you guys. Love you guys.
I love that, Uzi. So, kind of sidetracking from hockey a little bit, but let's talk a little bit about gymnastics. You said
Ooh.
you like gymnastics. So what's going on with gymnastics?
I recently walked off the team because there were some things, drama going on between everyone, and I'm kind of not that person. I don't
Mm-hmm.
like being part of drama. I don't like being stressed out and people causing different things. And like
Right.
I like gymnastics. It's just like my friends have to remind me I'm at gymnastics for myself. I'm not there to like I can make friends, yeah, but if the friends are toxic, then like I'm there for myself. I'm not there to please them. I'm there to please myself.
Right.
So why quit when I can like go for myself and not them?
It's unfortunate, when because I'm assuming you like gymnastics because you like the sport, you like doing the things, but
Yeah.
then when drama gets involved with people, it just makes it kind of toxic and not fun anymore. It kind of sucks the fun out of it. So Uzi, let's talk a little bit about social media, and
Ooh.
I'm sure there's some pros and cons to it because I
Yeah.
hear that a lot with people. But let's start with what you love about social media, and then we'll kind of talk about the bad side of it too.
Okay, so like good side of social media. I made tons of online friends. I have tons and tons. Shout out to you guys. It's too many to name, so I'm just gonna say shout out to all y'all. Um, the good side of social media is like you get different opportunities. Like I got to make friends with you. Like I made connections through other people. Like I made connections through Tyler to you. I
Mm-hmm.
actually today, through the social media, I met this guy named Will and this guy named Pace, and they were doing different music videos. And I'm like, I could see myself doing it. And like, all you do is like post a video, like send us a video. And I kept working with Pace, and I'm in his fourth choir, and Will's one of his music videos. I was in their videos. And then I'm
Wow.
like, I really love this. And the new video for Paige is coming out, so stay tuned. Um, and
Is
then
there a title of it that you can give us so we can look it up?
title of, I don't remember the name. It's a music video. Just look up Pace Randolph on TikTok, and yeah,
Pace Randolph.
yeah.
Okay.
So, and then there's also that I got to reach out to like different people and help them in different situations. Like if I went through something and I can help someone, I would get DMs, like tons of DMs, and I just like sit there and help them all the time. And then,
Mm-hmm.
like, I love helping people. Like, that's my thing. I love being there for
Mm-hmm.
everyone. But sometimes it's like you have to take a step back, and it's kind of like, okay, like, what else can I do? Like, if I can't do this, I'll do this to help them. And I feel like the other good thing about social media is I can make friends, and I get these different opportunities, like being in music videos, being in podcasts. I was actually
Mm-hmm.
asked to be in another podcast with the Cloudy Minds. I'm doing that next month.
Oh,
Um,
wow. Congratulations, Uzi. That's so exciting. That is so exciting.
Thank you. And I think the other good side is like you find different companies that support different issues, like you, and then like the Happiness Project. I think there's a couple more I don't remember the name of the top of my head, but I
Mm-hmm.
followed them and I bought their merch, and then oh yeah, Living Proof, that too, that company. And then I was like, I got to see like these different athletes. I would go on social media and I would find different athletes' stories, and it would be like Harry Miller, Ryle Sheen, what's her name, Harley something, and then it'd be Michael Phelps, Alvin Schmitty. It'd be all these different athletes and Curtis too, Curtis Douglas, and they would be like supporting mental health and like telling
Mm-hmm.
their stories, and I'm just like, wow, like Hayden
Mm-hmm.
Floyd too. He like they all told the stories and they supported mental health and they're doing different things within the sport, like Kevin Love and Corey Hirsch, them too. They're all athletes, like they're big athletes, but yet they still have they're still them. Like they told their story. They told, hey, this is what we're going through. This is what we need to change everything. This is what we're
Right.
doing. Like you should get help if you need it. And I was like, them telling the stories, like kind of just like it made me like I'm like, okay, I didn't think big athletes supported mental health. But now I'm seeing
Mm-hmm.
all these big athletes telling their stories and supporting mental health and raising awareness, and I'm like, okay, these people aren't so bad after all. I think
Right.
like it depends on the athlete too. Like the football team on my at my college aren't the best people. I've met one or two nice people out of the whole team.
Mm-hmm.
Like the gymnastics team, I'm not really friends with anyone on the team anymore as far as goes right now because of things that that club is doing right now. I'm just not like I'm on the team, but I'm just taking some time away from it.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I'm
Sure.
really busy as is, like I was in Chicago, I'm going to Grand Rapids, I'm moving to do this Disney college program in 2 months, and I haven't packed. Like I'm
Which we'll talk
posting,
about. We will talk about that because I'm excited to talk about that too.
yeah. So I haven't had time to go back to the team, and I was like talking to my parents the other day. I'm like, hey, do I go back or do I stay out of gymnastics? They're like, that's up to you. That's not up to us. What do you want to do? I'm like, if you or me, what would you do? They both said we would go back, and I'm like, okay. And I was like thinking, when do I go back? Because I'm leaving in July. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to pay for summer training and only go for a month and then be gone for 2 months. Like, it's not worth the pay. Because it's really expensive. No offense.
Right. Right, Uzi. So let's before we get into Max's sizzling questions, round one, I want to hear a little bit about kind of the negatives of social media. What have you come across
Negative.
that aren't so fun that don't make you feel good? What do we got going on?
Okay, so trigger warning. There's a lot of hate on TikTok and Instagram and Snapchat. Like if someone on TikTok finds you other social medias, I feel like my friends, my other friends online, they were tormented like I was. Like people were told I don't know to hurt themselves or like to kill themselves or like
Mm-hmm.
they shouldn't eat or they're fat and it's like these different comments and like it affects people differently. So I feel like if like someone's sensitive like I am, like it affects them and you look at those comments and like when you're happy you don't really look at the comments and you don't care. But then when you go into that phase of like I'm just like sad and like I don't care, I'll look back at the comments, I'll just start bawling my eyes out. Or else like
That's a really
that
good point.
like those comments can like choose a life or death situation. Like my friend and me were in one and I think like people don't, you know, people don't realize what they're saying means something to someone, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like you can make or break their life. Like someone can end their life over one comment or like multiple comments, or someone can stay alive because it's good comments keeping them going. So like the negative
Mm-hmm.
side is like the block and the blocking and like the harassment and like all that, and then people exposing each other on social media, which is another toxic thing. Like all those things add up to like it's too much for someone and they end up either
Mm-hmm.
A leaving social media or taking a break. I
Mm-hmm.
recommend taking a break personally. But it depends on the person. Everyone's different and how they react to it. So it's like you have to like know yourself first
Right.
before you I'm gonna say Instagram is a form of like it's I feel like Instagram, TikTok and like Snapchat, it's like it's a highlight reel of your life. It's not like everyone on social media posts like all their happy moments, and then
Mm-hmm.
when you're not doing so good, nobody posts about it because why? You know you're gonna get criticized and judged. That's why you don't post that.
Right.
And
Right. I like
came.
that. Oh,
That's
go
why
ahead,
I
Uzi. Go
came.
ahead.
That's why I came clean about my story about like how many months ago I was like uh it was yeah it was recently I opened it with Real Minded. I put my story out there and then I put it out with someone else, forgot their name, but should I say you guys? I put my story out there to help someone, like if someone's going through it and they see, okay, this like athlete or like this social media influencer went through something like I did, like what can we do different? And it's like
Mm-hmm.
someone if someone like this can make it out of life, so can I.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's about
Yeah,
it.
I love that, Uzi. And just a couple points I want to highlight from what you just said. You know, it's like when we're happy, we kind of ignore those comments, right, on our
Mm-hmm.
social media, and we can be fine with it. But then when we do get in those low moments, it's tough to forget those things, and we do kind of we're more susceptible to being hurt by them, and those people who send those stuffs. You know, I'm not sure what they're thinking. I don't know the other end of it, but just I don't think they realize what damage it can do to somebody. And then Uzi, I love how you talked about taking a break from social media because that's huge. I was the type of person who would delete everything. I would delete my Instagram and everything, and I went through that probably 3 or 4 times to be honest. So my original Instagram that I created when I was 14. That's long gone, and I have
Yeah.
like 3 new ones now. So,
For me,
but taking a
oh,
oh,
you
go
can go
ahead.
first. You can go first. No, you can
Okay, let me
go.
go first. Okay. So I was just gonna say, taking a break from social media, kind of, it does. I do love it because it kind of resets your mood, your mojo, and then you're kind of excited to get back into it. But go ahead, Uzi. What were you gonna say?
I'm gonna be honest. For me, Instagram was like I lurk on people on Instagram because now TikTok shows who goes on whose account, so you can see who's looking on your account and stuff. So now I'm like, I can't lurk their TikTok, so I lurk their Instagram. And it's like sometimes you need that break. Like I'm super addicted to social media. I can't tell you how many times I wake up and I'm like, okay, let me take my social media first thing in the morning. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like you need to set boundaries because boundaries are like
Mm-hmm.
you need those boundaries.
Right. I agree 100%, Uzi. So, Uzi, we're gonna go into our first round of Max's Sizzling questions.
Ooh,
This is the first time ever that we're doing the trivia show over remote like this. So this is super exciting. Uzi, you know a little bit about it, so I'll kind of briefly go over it. So there are 18 questions. We're gonna go round 1 is 6 questions only. I actually did cater this round or this whole trivia show to Disney questions. They're not all Disney, but some of them are,
God,
okay?
God, please help me
so
remember.
so your Disney trivia is on check here. But Uzi, so um, I think the grand champions. I'm so bad at this. I believe it's 13 for 18. Amanda Chamba and Kate Lotus are the champions right now. 13 for 18
Okay,
questions. So no matter what, you get you're golden. You came on the show. You did well. But for bragging rights, if you want to
yeah,
become the
God,
grand
you
champion, then you got to hit 14 out of 18 of the questions or tie with them at 13. Okay. But let's just
okay.
start with 6. Okay. Let's
Hopefully I
start with
remember
6.
this stuff.
We got the fire going in the background. Uzi, are you ready here?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Let's start with 6 questions. 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Let's get into it. Not all these are Disney, by the way. Maybe just a
Okay.
third of them. Okay. All right. Here we go. Which one of these cities is largest by population? Is it Tokyo, Japan, Delhi, India, or Shanghai, China?
Oh, I think it's Shanghai. Wait, it's either Tokyo or Shanghai. It's not India. Tokyo. Tokyo.
All right, and then I'll go over, when all 6 are done, I'll go over the answers, okay?
Hmm.
All right. Was Walt Disney born before or after the year 1900?
After.
How many fingers does Mickey Mouse have?
Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8.
Okay. What is the only U.S. state that is an island?
Isn't it like the Florida Keys or like Bahamas? Isn't it the Bahamas or like Florida Keys?
I can't say it.
It's one of those two.
You got to pick one.
Oh, okay. Florida Keys.
All right. What do people with arachnophobia have a fear of?
Spiders.
Last one. What country is known to have invented tea?
Country. China.
Drinking my tea right now. All right, Uzi.
China.
Let's go over the answers. First round over. How did you feel you did? How did you
I
think
feel
you
like
did?
the Disney questions I did A-okay on. The other ones I kind of like guessed in the eliminated method. I'm like, okay, I know this isn't this because I'm going back to history class. Shout out to Mr. Travis for teaching me this. Thank you.
Shout out.
Hopefully this is right. I'm sorry if it's not. I tried my best.
All right, let's go over the answers, Uzi. So, what do people with arachnophobia have a fear of? You guessed, excuse me, had a burp there. You guessed spiders. That is correct. Good job, 1 for 1. Was Walt Disney born before or after the year 1900? You said after. That is correct. 1901, 1 year after. Good job. How many fingers does Mickey Mouse have? You said 8. 4 on each hand,
Yeah.
right? That is correct. So it's 3 fingers and a thumb, but I think That's 4. We're counting that as 4. 4
Yeah.
fingers. 4 fingers on each hand. That is correct. 3 for 3. What is the only U.S. state that is an island? You said the Florida Keys. The answer is Hawaii.
Oh,
Hawaii. So you're 3 for 4 right now. You're still doing
Okay.
good. 2 more questions. What country is known to have invented tea? You said China. The correct answer is China. Good job, Uzi. One last question. You're 4 for 5 right now. You're doing really well. Which one of these cities is largest by population? We have Tokyo, Japan, Delhi, India, or Shanghai, China. The correct answer is Tokyo, Japan. That is what you said. Yes. And they have 37 million, by the way, around there, which is
Yeah.
a lot. That is
so I
crazy.
remember the Olympics being in Tokyo. So I'm like, if
Mhm.
the Olympics are in Tokyo, then it has to be the largest city.
Yeah, good job. Good thinking there. So Uzi, you're 5 for 6 on the first round of Max Sizzling questions. That if you keep that up, you will be easily become the champion. You'll hit 15 out of 18 questions. So keep it up, okay? I'm gonna take another step here. Good job,
No.
Uzi. Let's talk a little bit about Disney now. So,
Oh, yeah.
I want to hear how your love for Disney started, and then tell everyone about this big thing that you have coming up. Super
Okay.
exciting.
So the way I fell in love with Disney was there's Halloween. We all know we dress up for different things for Halloween. And as a
Mhm.
little kid, my parents like bought like big things of like tubs of like Disney movies. So and we still have them in like my dad's studio. He has like they kept them, I don't know why. And it's like Aladdin and Jasmine and like Mickey and like Minnie. Like all these Disney movies we used to watch as kids and like the DVD, like the not DVD, the black thing that you watched it
Oh,
on.
the VHS, the
Yes, yes,
VHS.
the VHS. Yeah, we still have
Yes.
those, and we used to watch it all the time, and that's how I got addicted. And then for Halloween, the first time I ever celebrated Halloween, I was Ariel, and then for one I was Cinderella, and then for one I was what was it, Pocahontas, and then one of my
Mm.
friends for one of Halloween, she also dressed up as Pocahontas. So like Disney was like in my life, my entire life, and then I'm like. As I'm in college, I heard about the Disney College program. I'm like, bingo! So I love Disney. So, fun story. The way I found out about Disney College program, I was looking at like if like Disney had anything to do with like college and stuff. Cause like I heard of the Disney College program through like other people in like social media, and I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, I have to wait till college. And I found out my freshman year in high school. I'm like, great, 3 years I have to wait. And then the first time I applied, I got rejected because I didn't have any experience or whatever. So I'm like,
Mm.
okay, I'll try again. The second time came around, I'm like, okay, I'll apply again, and we'll see what happens no matter what. Because I had applied for a different Disney job in California. So I'm like, I'll do both and see which one I got accepted to. And I did the first interview with the ones in California, and they're like, well, your offer is still pending for the Disney College program, so you might get in, so you might want to wait for that. So we ended the meeting and said, okay, I won't do the job in California. We'll wait and see. And I'll call them back if I hear any different. And I ended up getting accepted. And I remember, like, I got the WBI, which is a web-based interview. It's a big personality test. Like, they don't do, like, phone interviews. They do, like, the web-based
Mhm.
interview. And I remember, like, taking it. Like, my parents, like, don't take it right now. Take it in the morning when you're less hyper and you're calm and you can concentrate. Because I'm on, like, different medications. So, like, let's
Mhm.
wait for them to kick in. Like, let's wait. And I'm like, okay. The next morning, I woke up, got something to eat, got to my table, put, opened my computer, started taking it. And I'm like, at the end, it basically immediately rejects you or immediately accepts you. So like
Wow.
mine said, congratulations, you're a strong candidate. We'll email you with more information as it comes. And then
Wow.
I think it was 10 days after I was still waiting my offer. And I'm like, okay, am I getting it or not? I was like getting anxious because like it's a different timeline for everyone for when they get accepted. Like people get accepted the same day or like the day after, 3 days after, 7 days after. So like a different like time period. For the first time I had to wait I think 2 weeks to find out I got rejected the first time. So I'm like, come on, come on, come on, come on. And it was like day 7. I'm like, no email. And I would check my email profusely, like every 10 minutes. I'm like, come on, come on, come on.
Mhm.
And day 10, I woke up and I got the email. I'm like, oh my God. I just scored myself like a 10 out of 10. I got accepted. And I ran around the house. My parents like, did you really accept it? I'm like, uh-huh. They're like, you sure you want to do this? I'm like, uh-huh. Because I was originally supposed to do it after college, but then I was like making a tantrum thing. I would do it after my sophomore year. And then I made another huge tantrum thing. I'm doing it this year. I don't care. I got accepted. I'm going. Because I think the reason why I chose this year all year was I was really struggling with like my mental health and like college
Mhm.
like now because like how hard it was and it was very challenging. And I usually don't back on the challenges, but the challenge I was like, I'm back down. So I'm like, let me move for a year and let me like go find myself and let me like have a lifetime experience and let me like go
Mhm.
out and like, explore my life outside of like hockey and gymnastics in college. Let me go like do this stuff because I had already made friends on the Facebook pages for it
Mhm.
and I joined a ton of group meets and my phone's blowing up because of it. But I remember like I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and I like tell everyone, I'm like, I'm leaving Michigan, I'm going to Florida, see you suckers. And I remember getting so hyper, and I'm like, I'm leaving. Like May, it hit me. I'm like, okay, I have 3 months to pack. I need to start packing. And my mom was like, we went on 2 other trips beforehand. I'm like, great. Now I have to count how many family trips till I leave. And now that I only have one family trip until I leave, I'm like, now it's like finally hitting me the last couple of days. I'm like, after we
Mhm.
come back from Grand Rapids, the next thing I'm packing for is for when I leave for Florida. And I'm like, I need to like get my together with my mental health. And I'm like, shit, like this is like for real. Like, come on, like adulthood. And my grandma's
Mhm.
super supportive. Shout out to Grammy. Love you. She
Shout
like
out.
yeah, she's super supportive of everything I do. Whether it's a good or bad decision, she supports me 1000%. And I remember telling her and she was so happy. She's like, you better do good. Work hard, try your best. I'm like, I will. And I was so hyper that night and I was like, hallelujah, I'm leaving Michigan. That was like my dream. I'm like, I need to get out of Michigan. That's all I care about.
That's Uzi. That's so exciting. And can you tell us a little bit more about Disney College? Like, what exactly will you be doing there? And,
Basically,
and, and
what I'm doing right now, fun story. The only thing they really tell you after you take your test is the first thing we had to do was we had to pay fees for the housing because it doesn't like the first month you have to pay because you don't pay for like 2 months or something. So
Mhm.
they deposit you like $435, something like that. And then we had to recently choose housing, and like you can either link with like 1 or 2 other people, or you don't link with anyone and they choose for you. And you can choose whether you want all girl housing, all guy housing, or like co-ed. And I chose all girl housing for that night. Stuff happened at the Disney College housing thing. I'm not gonna exactly say what because I could easily get in trouble for that, so I'm not gonna say. But let's just say some things happen, and I chose all girl housing, and next thing
Mhm.
I have is a Zoom call on June 5th, and I found out my role, so I get to find out where I'm gonna work. And then on June 17th, I find out like my final location, my final like role of what I'm gonna do. And I
Mhm.
move in on July 11th to the apartment, so I'm moving down there July 1st. So
Wow, Uzi, so excited for you.
I'm really
That is
excited.
so fun. That is so exciting. So Uzi, let's kind of move on before we go into round two of Max Sizzling questions. I want to hear about how you kind of like to balance being around friends but also being alone.
Okay.
And what does that mean for you?
For me, I have a lot of family friends, so I have to see them every weekend because I get like pushed, not pushed, I get forced to go to these parties to like build bonds with these girls that like
Mhm.
and my parents and my parents and my family friends' parents are friends, so we grew up together. So it was like
Mhm.
my parents wanted us to keep the bond, and after a while, it just got super toxic. I remember it was like they would frame me for stuff, and I was like, I was done at that point. I'm like. I tried like we would go back and forth between friends or like not being friends, friends, not being friends, friends, and it was
Mhm.
like for a while I just like distanced myself and like I I like being alone. I'm like alone in my room right now and I'm fine with it. Like I spend my time on Disney Plus and social media. Like I have online friends, so they're there
Mhm.
24/7. Like Tyler and Owen. I talk to
Mhm.
them a lot. Like like I'll text them like periodically. I'm like, hey, what's up? Or like, what you doing? And, like sometimes I just vent and write this whole ass
Mhm.
paragraph to just be like that big. And I'm just like sometimes I'm fine with being alone because I like hanging out with myself because I get to do like I love checking the mail. That's my thing. Every time I order something, I go to the mail every single day. Send. I feel like mail, mail, mail. Like if I have to go to tutoring or if I have to go to like practice or like anything, I'm used to like being alone a lot. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
being around the hockey team and gymnastics team, it was a change because I'm around a lot of people. I was around the hockey guys, their girlfriend, the gymnastics team, and then around my family friends. So I was around a lot of people a lot of times, and they're just like sometimes like having anxiety is like it's very overwhelming, and it's like. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, no. My dad like, you want to quit? I'm like, so like take a break and see what happens. I'm like, okay. So I think I'm moving away for a year because sometimes hockey got toxic and gymnastics got toxic,
Right.
and I need a break from it. I need a break to like find my new friends. I need a break from life. I need a break from college. I need a break from a break.
No, and that going to Disney College will be huge for you because I feel like that's such a big chapter like in your life, and it's like you're stepping away from everything you're kind of used to and going to a whole new environment.
I
And
needed the change.
yeah, I feel like change is good, and it'll really allow yourself to kind of discover more about yourself, in a different environment.
Yeah, and it's very independent too. Like you pay your own housing fee, you pay
Hmm.
groceries, you pay for rides and stuff like that. So it's like I'm excited about that.
I'm excited for you,
Paying
Uzi.
for
So let's.
groceries.
Yeah, it's honestly fun. I like grocery shopping for myself. Um, so it's kind of fun being independent. I like it. As long as you can pay for everything.
Yeah.
But Uzi, we're gonna jump right into Max's Sizzling questions round two here. Okay, you are currently 5 for 6, so we're gonna shoot to get all these right. We're gonna use this excitement and we're gonna blow all these questions out of the park.
Hopefully.
All right, round two of Max's Sizzling questions. Uzi, are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right. What bird lives in Antarctica and cannot fly?
I was gonna say penguins, but they fly. Uh, isn't there a bird called the Arctic bird?
I'm not sure.
I've heard of them before. Otherwise, it's penguins. But penguins, because penguins can't fly, can they?
Are we going with penguins?
Yeah, I'm going with penguins.
All right. What is a female deer called?
A doe.
What is the name of Harry Potter's pet owl?
That's a question you asked my sister, not me.
Bring her in. I'm just kidding.
I don't know. Skip?
What is it? What is it?
I don't know it. I don't.
Okay, you're not gonna give an answer, or what did you say? We can at least do that.
Owly is what it
Okay,
was.
we're going with that. Owly. We're going
Yeah.
with that. Okay. All right. 3 more questions. What kind of tree do acorns come from?
Isn't it acorn tree? The pine trees. Pine trees.
All right. 2 more questions. What movie is Princess Fiona from?
What was the question?
What movie is Princess Fiona from?
Isn't that Sleeping Beauty?
Is it?
Is it? Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah.
All right. Last question. Name at least 3 streaming services.
Netflix, Disney Plus, Disney Now.
Disney Now?
Yeah.
What's that one? I haven't heard of that one.
It's like you connect your cable provider with the app and you get to watch like live Disney Channel or like different like Disney snippets on Disney Now. But Disney Plus is more the updated one, so rarely anyone uses Disney Now. So it's not connected
Okay.
with the provider, so.
Okay. I believe you. That's 6 questions. Let's go over the answers here. You're currently 5 for 6. Let's
I'm
see
so
here. I'll mix
nervous.
them up. Did this round seem harder or did it seem the
A
same?
little harder. I had to guess
Okay.
on some of them.
For some reason, even though I mix up the questions, it seems like each round gets harder. I don't know why. I don't do anything purposely.
I know.
All right, here. Here we go. What movie is Princess Fiona from? You said Beauty and the Beast. The correct answer is Shrek.
Oh,
It's kind of a throw off there. All right. Let's see here. What is a female deer called? You said doe. The correct answer is a doe. That is correct. Good job, good job. You're 1 for 2 right now. Name at least 3 streaming services. You said Netflix, Disney Plus, and Disney Now. That is all correct. Hulu, also Peacock, Amazon Prime. There's tons of them. So good job. 2 for 3. What kind of tree do acorns come from? You said the pine tree. The correct answer is the oak tree.
Oh.
2 for 4. All right, last 2 questions. What bird lives in Antarctica and cannot fly? Can you remind me your answer for this one?
Penguin.
Yes, penguin. The correct answer is penguin. Yes. Good job. All right, you are 3 for 5 right now. Last question. What is the name of Harry Potter's pet owl? We went with Owly, which I love. I love it. But the correct answer is
Alright.
Hedwig. Hedwig. Which when I read that, I'm like, head and a wig? It's like, did they come up with like that? I don't know. But you're not a big Harry Potter fan?
No, that's my sister.
I gotcha. I love Harry Potter. I grew up watching all the movies.
I took a Harry Potter class in middle school, and we learned all this, and it's been how many years since I took that class? 3,
A while.
3, 4, 5 years ago.
All right. Well, Uzi, you're not doing too bad. You still have a chance to be the champion. You're 8 for 12 right now. So that means on the next round, if you want to tie with the champions, you have to get 5 right. But if you want to become the champion, you have to get all 6 right. So you can do it. You can do it, Uzi. I believe in you. You have the chance.
Yeah. Hopefully.
All right, Uzi, let's get into kind of the bread and butter of the show here.
Ooh,
Speaking about mental health, bread and butter, which I had this morning for breakfast, toast and butter. So let's see here, Uzi. So I want to start with you being a mental health advocate, and then I kind of want to hear your story about when you first discovered about mental health and just kind of going through that.
Okay, so where do I start? Okay, so I was about 6? Yeah, I was 6. Young, wow. My grandpa, my dad's dad passed away, and I didn't really understand the concept that he's never coming back. That was not a concept of it. Most of the kids want to think, oh, this person never coming back. Like that's some concept in their head at the time.
Right.
So it's like, okay, like I thought he was gonna come back. I thought he was on a vacation. So I'm like, okay, he'll come back, and then he never came back, and I'm like, huh? I was so confused, and I remember being upset for a while, and then for a while, my grandma had hid the funeral pictures. I don't even know why they had them, but I had found them, and I had found my grandpa with like tissues because they blocked the tissue, the nose and the ears with like tissues so like blood doesn't come out, I guess, because like things explode inside apparently. But I saw the pictures and I'm like, oh, he's like gone. And then after that, my uncle died, and it was on my dad's side. It was my dad's younger sister's husband, and I'm like, okay, he's gone too. Like people are just leaving me, and at that point, I'm like, everyone's just gonna leave me. So why like try talking about stuff? And I was just hold it in. Let's see how long it happens. And my mom's dad passed away the same day as my 8th grade graduation, same day. And I found out the night before graduation. No, I found it like the day before, kind of, because I had found it on Facebook from my aunt who had posted it. And then my mom started packing bags, and I know people like what was happening. Like I pretended not to know, and I kept asking like, "What's going on? Where are we going? Like, what's going on?" The big bags, like the big ones that were out, and I'm like, "Where are we going? What are we doing?" Like, and they're both crying, and I'm like, what's going on? I had not connected the dots yet, and I'm like, and my mom told me, and I was like, I came in my room and I sat on my desk, at a different desk. I sat down and I'm like, my grandpa's gone. Like my AP graduation was no longer a friend for me, and I'm like, I don't want to go to my graduation. I want to go overseas with you. And like, no, this is why we didn't tell you because you didn't want to go to graduation. And I ended up going to my graduation sadly, but after that I went overseas, and I remember I was hysterical. I was a mess. And then recently my grandma passed away. Not my dad's mom, my mom's mom passed away recently, like 3 or 4 years ago. And that one really just put me over the edge. I remember that one really put me over the edge. I didn't understand. Like I understood she was in the hospital was the only thing I heard, and then she died, and nobody told me what was going on, and nobody had posted anything. So I'm like, okay, something's going on. Cause my mom's crying again. My dad's helping her pack. This is familiar. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
and I started connecting the dots. And I remember texting my cousin, my young cousin. I texted her. I'm like, hey, like when I found out, I'm like, hey, grandma's gone. Like, cause my cousin lives with her. Cause everyone lives together. And I remember telling him like, she's gone. Like, she's like, no, she's not. I'm like, where are your parents? My uncle and aunt. I'm like, where are your parents? Like, at the hospital with grandma. I'm like, and I knew they're on the way back from the hospital. And I told my cousin, she's gone. She's like, you're lying, you're lying, you're lying. Like, because, we joke around, not about that, but like different things. Not that, but like,
Mm-hmm.
I told her she's gone. I think it was like everyone was shocked. Like, she's not gone, she's not gone, she's not gone. And my aunt and uncle came home and they told her, and she texted me, she's like, I'm sorry that I called you a liar. And that grandma's gone. And we went overseas after that. And I didn't want to talk to anyone for like the longest time. I locked myself in my room, did not want to eat, cried night after night after night by myself. My parents would come in and try to comfort me, and I was just like, leave me alone. I don't want it. Because my grandparents
Mm-hmm.
raised me. Like, if you've seen videos of me and my grandparents, they literally raised me from nothing to what I am now. So, like, her being gone, it was like a shock. Because I have a white blanket over there. No, not there. Right here, actually. I got it when my grandpa passed away, and it smells like him. And then my grandma gave me one,
Oh.
so it smells like her. So I would like sleep at night with this, and I would keep it on me 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember it just like one of the nights. I don't know if like I had hit so much in to the point from last year, whereas last year I was like in a really dark spot last year, and I remember just thinking like I was hurting myself, and I was remember like I just would relapse and relapse and relapse, and I was just like I'm like what is going on with me like it drove me to the point basically trying to almost I might say the word because you know podcast,
Mm-hmm.
but after that the cops came and they were asking me like all these type of questions and like I was being honest at that point because I needed the help and I remember the bullying in middle school and the bullying in high school drove me to the point of just like I was done, I was drained, I was shout out to my teachers that made it worth it like Mr. Phelps and Miss uh Matowski and Mr. McNeil and Miss Lee and Mr. Chris and who else was there? I think those were the teachers I really like. And Mr. Persevian too. All those teachers just were kind of there for me, like in my darkest situations. They were there,
Mm-hmm.
and like talking to those teachers again. I remember like talking to them about everything, like emailing like a big like email, and I remember like them responding, and it was just like I think like those are like my second parents in a way because
Mm-hmm.
Miss Matowski and Miss Lee were like my mom, and all the guy teachers were like my dad. And I remember having a teacher from my preschool, and he taught me in middle school, and he was there for me no matter what. I got in trouble once because I skipped the bus because I was in chess club, and he didn't know that, and I forgot to tell him. And the daycare, and my mom forgot to call the daycare, telling them not to pick me up. And the daycare showed up, and I was sitting on the stairway, and the teacher, my preschool teacher who taught me then, he was like this. He was like, I'm like, no. I'm like, no. I'm like, frick. I'm like, frick. I'm in trouble. And I remember going down, and she's like, you're supposed to get on the bus. I'm like, no, no. I have chess club, and I only pulled out a chess piece. I'm like, I'm in chess club. This is a hall pass, and the daycare teacher, she did not like any of us. So she called my parents, and my parents told her, no, you're not supposed to pick her up. We want to call you that she's not supposed to be at daycare today. And they ended up leaving, and I remember everyone getting so mad. And I'm like, oh well. I remember running back upstairs. I'm like, and one of the teachers, his name was Mr. Kaplan, and he's like, Uzi, what are you doing? I'm like, going back to chess. He's like, okay, how long? And I'm like, I don't know. And like having speech therapy was like I was pulled out of class for like different things like speech therapy, having a social worker therapy, different evaluations for different things, and it was like everyone would wonder why I was pulled out of class, but I never told anyone. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And I remember emailing one of my dad's from his friends, and I'm like, hey, do you remember us by any chance? He's like, yeah, why wouldn't I? And it was like like I know like I kind of found myself because like him and another of his friends, they all did music for a while and they still do.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. And I started working with this company to raise awareness about inequality overseas. And I'm like, okay, I kind of like found myself. And I haven't worked for them for 3 years now because it's just like I had so much on my plate and I'm starting to like, clean off that plate. And I'm like, okay, this is what's important. This is what's not. Let's remove this. Let's put this in.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm moving. Like that was part of my big decision. Hockey, I won't be able to help them next season. I'm gonna miss those boys dearly because I love them and I love coaches. But I love gymnastics and hockey, and I'm like, okay, I won't be there for like a year, and it's not gonna be that bad. It's one season that I'm not gonna be there. I'll be there the season after. So like the one lifetime opportunity versus like going back to hockey and staying here. And I was like, okay. And I talked to my friends. I'm like, what do I do? I'm screwed. Either Disney college program or hockey and gymnastics. So, like I would choose a Disney college program because it'd be good for your future. Even though I want to
Mm-hmm.
work for the NHL big time because this girl loves hockey and addicted. Um, I think it like depends on like days. Like sometimes like okay, I'll admit this nighttime scares me a lot. And I would sit in my bed crying all night. My bed there, but I sit there crying all night, and I'm like what is wrong with me? Like why am I crying? And during the day I'm fine, like I'm smiling, I'm Gucci. Then at night, like I'm crying, and it's like I don't remember what's going on. I'll stay up till like 2 a.m. watching Disney Plus just to numb the emotions. So I'm like I don't know what to do. I'll either
Mm-hmm.
cry or I'll watch Disney Plus. And like eating sometimes got a challenge because one of my aunts, I'm not gonna name her because she made up to me, but one of my aunts, she was like, you need to start losing weight, and then my other aunt got on me for it, and I ended up like I only ate once a day. I remember I started eating only once a day, one meal a day, and I would get these headaches, and I feel lightheaded, and I'm like, this is new, like, huh? And I
Mm-hmm.
remember getting addicted to it because like I really liked how skinny I was getting, and I remember I'm a people pleaser, so I people please, people please,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
yeah. So after that, I was like, I'm gonna stop people pleasing, and everyone got mad at me when I stopped pleasing them. I'm like, I'm gonna do me. I don't care what people say. Like my body's my body, and if I can't change in 5 seconds, they shouldn't be judging me. And if they want to judge me, I just kick them out of my life, and I really don't care what my parents say about it because it's my life after all, and I'll make the choice that I want to make, whether it's good or bad, and I'll learn from it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it all
Yeah,
started.
Uzi. First of all, I like the analogy used about cleaning off your plate. I think that's really important to kind of take a look at what's going on in your life, even like on a dinner plate, and like seeing what's going on and like what needs to be pushed off, what needs to be more of in your life. And I love that. And then also, I just had a conversation with somebody about people pleasing, and it's like, yes, you want to kind of be kind and joy and help other people and please them, but you need to put yourself first. And it's good that you're realizing that. It's like you got to take care of yourself. You got to please yourself first, you
Yeah,
know?
if you can't please yourself, you can't please anyone else. And you have to
Right.
love yourself first before you can love anyone else or have anyone else love you. So it's like
Right.
I started eating candy again because why? Because I don't care what people say. That candy is good. It makes me happy. Like if it makes me happy, it doesn't need to make sense to anyone else. If it makes you happy, it doesn't need to make sense to anyone else. At the end of the day, it's your choice. It's
Mm-hmm.
your life. It's your body. Like you choose you. At the end of the day, you you were born by yourself and you die by yourself. So why care what other people say?
Mm-hmm. And I think as you go on in life with everybody, you learn what works well for you, you learn what doesn't work well for
Yeah.
you, and you make adjustments here and there, and that's totally fine. Can we get a shout out to the candy real quick? Do you have it right by you?
All right, hold on. I have to get
Cotton
it.
candy. Yeah, I want to hear about it because cotton
Uh,
candy is my favorite, and this candy looks good. Yes, I love the colors, the blue and pink. It's cotton candy flavored. Oh
Yeah,
my
it's called
lolly.
Lolly Rock. Yeah, Lolly Rock.
Is this a store in Michigan that you said?
Yeah, it's in Brighton, Michigan. It's an hour away from me. So my parents refused to drive an hour to get it. So they're like, just ship it to you. I'm like, okay. So I ended up paying. It was like $50 for 2 bags, and I'm like, okay. And it took only a day to ship. So yeah, they came
Do they have a
yesterday.
website?
Yeah, they do. ohmylolly.com, I believe it is.
Okay.
It's really good. I think they sell nationwide. I think they sell nationwide. I'm not sure, but I know they ship in Michigan for sure. I'm not sure about
Okay.
nationwide, but
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
it is so good.
Ohmylolly.com. It does look so good.
Yeah, but
Okay.
don't eat it at night because like you'll be hyper like I was.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed up until 2 and I woke up at 8 a.m. this morning.
I know you got to be careful with eating candy at night.
Yeah, and it gives me
Um,
nightmares. For me, it gives me nightmares.
what like what? Like what kind of nightmares?
Okay, so like last night, my dream, I had a nightmare last night because of the candy. Thank you, my lolly. Nightmares. Um, it was like everyone was leaving me. Like my dream was like everyone was leaving me, and then like my like parents got arrested. I think that's what the dream was, and like everyone was leaving me, and I was left alone, and like I basically like severed away. Yeah,
So the candy is sweet in the moment, but it turns sour at night. It
yeah,
gives you nightmares.
and soda
Well,
too.
Uzi, let's before we go into round three of Max Sizzling questions, we heard your story about mental health and kind of all you've been through. How did you turn that like negative, all these negative experience into something today where you can kind of advocate for mental health and how did you overcome all that and now you're able to advocate for things, you know?
Yeah. So, it started like I would think about like what my grandparents wanted, what my online friends wanted, and like the life I wanted, not what the life that they wanted for me. And I remember like I was continuously people pleasing, people pleasing, people pleasing. I'm like, I
Mm-hmm.
finally said enough is enough. I'm gonna do me. So I was like, I found my passion, which is like working for the NHL, which is a sports management degree. And I remember like telling my family, I'm like, I want to do the NHL. Like, you want to do this? Okay, that's fine. If that's your dream, go for it. If the Disney College program is your dream, go do it. Like, go chase those dreams. Like, at
Mm-hmm.
that point, my parents realized like my extended family was completely wrong, and it was wrong for them to like put like overseas you either are a doctor or an engineer because that's like the what do you call it? That's what everyone expects you to be, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
not at, not average, really. I'm outside the box thinking because I expect high for myself, and when I'm not like high expecting, I think like I expect high for myself because everyone, like my older siblings, that are my cousins, that are like my older siblings, because I lived with them when I was little. So like growing up with them, they expected high from me, and one of my older sisters, she expects a lot from me. Like she doesn't want excuses. She doesn't want me to like off like lollygag or like she doesn't want me to off track. She like you need to get your driving degree, no exceptions. Like not goofing out, start training, like start getting a degree, go live on your own, drive a car, get your license. Like she's like that, and I'm like
Mm-hmm.
okay. And I remember getting so overwhelmed, and I'm like, I'm people pleasing again. I remember texting her and I like text her big paragraph, and I'm like, I'm done with you. I'm sorry. I know you want the best for me, but this is too much. You're putting too much pressure on me. And when the pressure
Mm-hmm.
gets to me, I break. And I'm working on getting like to the point where I'm not at that pressure where it's like too much. So my parents realize I have a breaking point, and when they get to the breaking point, it's not that good, and it can cause me to stay up all night and like basically go into a panic attack and cry all night. So my eyes are red and my throat's sore. So I think people realize like everyone has a breaking point and you shouldn't hide it. And if you need help, and that's okay, because I love my therapist. Shout out to my therapist. Love you. Mwah. Um, Getting help is like one of the best things I ever did. I'm being completely honest.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best thing I ever did. I got the help I needed. I continuing therapy. Yeah, and I have tutors to help me with school because no one should be ashamed of having tutors. I'll put it out there. I have two myself to help me with school because it's having ADHD and anxiety and stuff with school. It's like it's challenging. So it's like if you need the help, you need the help. There's no like
Right.
and I have accommodations where you can get accommodations with paperwork. You can get accommodation at college and like high school and middle school. You can get accommodations and you get tested for different things than I was, luckily. And the things I have were caught in time before it got, they weren't caught in time, but they were caught after, which like helped me not do it. I haven't relapsed. I haven't thought about the certain things I used to think about. And now it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just live for myself now, if that makes sense. I live like
Mm-hmm.
if I want to do something, I'll do it. If I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. Like, my parents don't force me anymore. They kind of trust me to make my own decisions to be like, if you want to do this, go do this. Like, my parents had a serious pep talk with me when I did the Disney College program. They had a serious, like, sit down talk. Like, this is what you want. Like, go for it. Like, if you want it,
Mm-hmm.
go for it. If you want to work with the energy, go for it. If you want to get married and engaged, go for it. Like, we're in a culture, we have arranged marriages. And my parents were asking me since I'm already 19, like, do you want to get married by love or do you want to get married in an arranged marriage? And it runs in my family. And I also don't have a guy in my life. So I was like, I want an arranged marriage because if my parents can last 22, almost 20, 22 years, then I can. If I can, they can last that long. I'll last with my husband that long. No biggie.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where it
No
all
biggie.
started. Yeah, no biggie. Yeah, and like
Well,
Disney.
Uzi, I was just gonna say I love that. I love how you're in this time in your life where you're like really embracing yourself and what Uzi loves, what Uzi likes, and you're chasing after, you know, your dreams. And I think that's super important because especially when you're this age, you know, I feel like you need to kind of find what you love in life and give it a chance and go for it, because especially when you don't want to be in something that you don't love in your life, you know. So it's good to take chances and go after things. So I love that, Uzi. We're gonna get into our last segment of Max's Sizzling Questions, the most intimidating one, because this is gonna be it. If you
Yeah,
get to the champion spot or not, either way, you're gonna be a rock star
no
for coming on the
biggie.
show and doing
No
this. No
biggie.
biggie.
No,
All
this
right,
is
let's
totally
see. I
like
got
totally not pressure. Like totally not biggie.
no pressure. All good.
Good vibes. I'm gonna settle with good
Good
vibes.
vibes only.
Yep.
All right. 6 questions here. Uzi, are you ready for the
Yes,
last 6
I am
questions?
ready.
Okay. We're currently 8 for 12. All right, here we go. What is the color of an emerald?
Green.
Name at least 3 characters from Finding Nemo.
Nemo, Dorothy, the fish Dorothy, and then sheriff, police, the police fish, and his dad.
We got to get the names though.
The names, okay, Nemo, Dorothy, and then anyone more. Yeah, but the police sheriff cop thing, his name is Sheriff, right? That's his name.
I'll have to look that one up. I'll look that one up. I'm not sure, but
Cause I remember in
is
the
that where you're
movie,
gonna go?
yeah, cause they called him Sheriff the whole entire movie. I remember the black and white fish. They called him Sheriff.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up right now so we can get it. And then I'll.
Watch me be right. Just watch.
If you can think of any other ones while we're doing this,
Nemo,
go ahead and say it.
Nemo, Dorothy, and then Sheriff, and then that's all I can name.
Okay, so I've looked it up. You're gonna go with those 3?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with those 3.
Okay, I'm gonna write them down. Okay, next one. Which Disney character sings "How Far I'll Go"?
Moana. I'm addicted to that song. I know. Moana.
Last 2 questions. Is the speed of sound or the speed of light faster?
Speed of sound. Yeah.
Last question. Are there more or less than 40 rides at the Walt Disney World Resort?
There's 4 at the resorts, the hotels, or the world.
The one in Florida. The one you're going. The
I
one
know.
you're going to.
You said resorts, not the hotel.
Oh, sorry. Okay, at the Walt Disney World.
More. There's 42 or 45. One of those 2.
All right, let's go over the questions. That was 6. That went quick. All right.
Please get it right.
Here we go.
Come on, your team.
So you're 8 for 12 right now. The current champions are at 13. Let's see here. So, starting off the one that we were spending the most time on, name at least 3 characters from Finding Nemo. So you said Nemo, Dorothy, and Sheriff. So Nemo is correct. Dory, not Dorothy.
Okay, I kind
You were
of. That's close.
you were close. And then Sheriff. So you were talking about the black and white stripes one?
Yeah.
Okay. From Google, the name of that fish is gill.
Really? I didn't catch it. I kept hearing Sheriff for some reason.
Yeah, I honestly, when I thought of this question, I thought of Nemo, Dory, and Bruce. You know the shark Bruce?
Oh.
The big shark?
Yeah.
So this one, you were close. You were really close, but we're going to count that one as wrong. So,
Dang it.
I think I missed a question. I think I only gave you 5.
Really?
I just found one here. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I missed one.
Oh, you missed
hold on.
one.
Let's go over the ones we did, and then I'm gonna give you a final question. Okay? I don't know how I missed that. All right, so you're 1 wrong right now. What Disney character sings How Far I'll Go? You said Moana. That is correct. Good job. I love that song too. So you're 1 for 2 right now. Are there more or less than 40 rides at the Florida Walt Disney World? You said more. That is correct. It was kind of iffy on what they counted as rides, but they said around 52. But anyways, regardless, you're correct. So you were 2 for 3 right now. You're 10 right so far altogether. What is the color of an emerald? You said green. That is correct. Correct. You're 11 right now. 11 right. Last question, and then we'll go over the one that we didn't hit. Is the speed of sound or speed of light faster? You said speed of sound. Yeah. The answer is speed of light.
Oh. Speed
of light. But that's okay. Yep. So right now, we have one more question here, Uzi. Are you ready?
Yep.
I don't know how we missed this. Which of these languages has the most words? Is it English, Russian, or Spanish?
Spanish.
All right.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean all right as in that's right. But let me go over it. So English, Russian, or Spanish? Spanish has 93,000 words.
Yeah.
Russian has 150,000.
Oh, wow.
And English has 176,000, which is crazy.
Okay.
So English was correct in that one. But regardless, Uzi, you hit double digits. You got 11 right, which is amazing. Hitting double digits is super good. So Uzi, not quite 13, but that's all right. You got really close.
That's fine.
You still came on the show. You were a rock star. You shared your story. It was a great time. So Uzi, before we close out the show, can you give what would your one piece of advice be to anyone struggling with things that you've been through, and what would you say to them to kind of help them out and get them through tough times?
So I would tell them that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to show emotions, and it's okay to ask for help, because you're not weak. You're strong for asking for help, because a lot of people do need it, like I did.
Mm-hmm.
And like the second piece of advice I have is, like, if you're being bullied, please tell an adult. Don't just sit there like that it happened. Don't be a bystander. Please tell an adult, because that could save someone's life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you, Uzi, so much. That's great advice. Uzi, again, super excited to have you on the show. So excited you came on and you talked, and I love hearing your story, and I'm super excited for you to go to Disney College. I'm so excited for you, Uzi. And thank you for sharing ohmylolly.com. I'm definitely going to be hopping on there soon. See if they ship over to Washington State. All right, Uzi. Thank you, everyone, for watching the Mental Wellness Show. Uzi, can we get do you want to share any of your social media handles?
So my Instagram is UziWorld19. My TikTok is UziWorld. My Snapchat is UziWorld19. My Instagram and Snapchat are the same, just my TikTok is different.
Alrighty, you guys heard that. Thank you, Uzi. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into the Mental Wellness Show. Uzi, just hold on a second after I close out the show here, okay? So this episode is coming out Friday today. As you guys see, this episode will be Friday the 27th, and then we'll be posting 2 episodes a week from here on out. I think we did it this week too. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Uzi, again, thank you for coming on. I can't believe it's already been 1 hour and 3 minutes. That is crazy.
Whoa!
Time flies. That's so crazy. All right, everybody. It's crazy. Have a good rest of your day, everybody. Enjoy the week, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday.